Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Today's video is actually very spontaneous. I wasn't planning on recording it, but I decided to sit down and do it. So today I went on Instingo and I decided to just kind of snoop around the app. I've never really done it before, I usually just work on the app and just go about my business. But I decided to snoop around a little bit, and what I found out is that I'm ranking number 3 in tarot readers. I'm so shocked, first of all, to see this. I don't know how those rankings go. I'm not sure if it's based on the ratings on my profile or the amount of messages that I exchange with my clients. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm really happy. I mean, that means that my work is actually paying off. That's amazing, and I want to thank you guys because you brought me there. And wow, that was just really, I was really proud of myself. And again, I don't know if that rank kind of changes, every single day or something, but that was definitely a very pleasant surprise. And since I do consider myself a pretty established reader, I started getting into astrology later on. However, I did start with cards, and I started with cards way before I created YouTube. So I really want to talk to you guys about misconceptions about tarot, because I think I know my stuff, and I just want to give you some tips from my own personal perspective, from my experience, especially for beginners, maybe somebody that wants to just kind of tap into tarot, somebody that wants to learn and maybe potentially ever work as a tarot reader. So yeah, I would like to talk about 5 misconceptions about tarot today. Now, the first misconception about tarot is that you have to be psychic to read cards. That's ridiculous. First of all, I always say, and actually I used to get a little bit of backlash for it because I was honest, I don't have psychic abilities, you know what I mean? Yes, I do have, I guess, pretty decent intuition, which is a part of psychic abilities, right? But I'm not like a medium, I'm not a psychic, I don't see the future, I cannot tell you, how your boyfriend is feeling just by looking at you. I can't, I can't do those things. And I was pretty honest about it from the start. Now, anybody, guys, anybody can learn tarot. You can be 12 years old, which I think I might have seen some people on YouTube reading cards, and I think they either are 12 or 15, I'm not exactly sure. But, you can be any age, you can be anyone. You don't have to have some kind of abilities to be able to be good at tarot. I'm not saying that I'm good at tarot, but I'm saying that, it's possible for a person that does not talk to spirits, to be able to read tarot and to be able to read it accurately. Now, of course, we all have psychic abilities, right? We just need to develop them if we want to. I personally feel very comfortable with the way my psychic abilities are right now, what kind of level they're at, and I don't want to develop them any further. Okay, but however, yes, we're all able to develop them. We're all able to tap into deeper and more of the kind of like otherworldly stuff, and to be able to use it in our advantage, but I personally don't really want to, okay, and that's just my personal preference. However, of course, having psychic abilities, being able to communicate with spirits, it's definitely good for your practice. It's definitely helpful. It's not just your intuition guiding you to read cards, but it's also your spirit guides, it's also your ancestors, or I don't know who you contact, right? It's helpful for sure. However, it's not mandatory, and you can still be really good at reading cards without having those psychic abilities. Okay, now misconception number 2. Tarot is evil. I had to come to terms with, that tarot is actually not evil. However, you have the power to make it evil. When I was growing up, obviously I'm from a Christian background, and I still consider Jesus my main God, but I'm just very open-minded. I came to terms, not even came to terms, I just realized that there is so much more to the world, and that you are not sinning if you don't think that what you're doing is a sin. That's just my personal, again, that's my personal perspective on it. It's not a sin. You're not doing anything bad if you would just want to see what kind of advice cards can give you, for example, for your job interview. You know what I mean? It's nothing bad, it's not evil. However, you can turn it into something evil if you start digging on your ex's lives, for example, you know, what they're up to, you know, is he and his girlfriend fighting or something? You know, that could lead to some kind of evil spirits becoming attached or being attached to you. This could lead to some negative energies in your home, negative energies around you. So just please be careful when you start read tarot. Demon is not going to pop out like out of your closet, right? If you do like decide to snoop on your ex or something. No, but it's the energy that you put into the cards. It's the energy that you project into the cards, because cards are just, it's paper. They're just tools. But you are the one that's manipulating the process. And it's your intuition that's working. And if you have evil intentions about the person, if you want to snoop somewhere where you should not be snooping, yes, you could summon some negative energy. However, tarot, as just a system of divination, is not evil. Third misconception, which is very popular in my country, in Russia, where I'm from, is that tarot, if you read tarot, you are creating bad karma for the rest of your life. Okay, so of course, for certain religions, yeah, it could be the case to think so, to have that type of mindset. But I've had so many people come to me and just be like, is it okay to read tarot? You know, am I manifesting something negative into my life by reading tarot? Am I manifesting bad karma in my life? I did my friend's natal chart the other day, and you know, she started asking me questions that I couldn't really answer with astrology, and I'm like, well, I could look, you know, at cards for you, I could read tarot for you and find out the answer to that question. And she's like, nothing bad is gonna happen to me, right? I'm like, huh? Like, nothing bad from reading tarot is gonna happen to me. I'm like, what? Yeah, some people actually still think that you are creating bad karma for yourself, that you will never get married if you read tarot, that you will never be in a happy relationship if you read tarot. Trust me, I'm a tarot reader, I'm in a very happy relationship. You will always be broke, there will never be any money coming, any prosperity coming, your children are going to be struggling, like your family members are going to have bad health. These are real things that actually some people tend to think. Not all of them, of course, and maybe not even the majority anymore. But there is a thing like that. Some people actually do think that it's so evil and that it's able to create some kind of a future for you. If you got negative cards for your future, that means that this is what's going to happen and this is the karma that's going to follow you for the rest of your life. If somebody tells you that, please stop talking to them, okay? The only thing that can happen is that if we do get some kind of a negative outcome, we don't use it as some kind of motivation to change things. We use it as something exactly like that's going to happen, and we manifest, and this is what happens due to our manifestations, because our thoughts become reality, right? So you need to always be positive no matter what kind of outcome you get with cards. If you're getting a negative outcome with cards, then think of what you can do to change it, right? Because our destiny is in our hands. Of course, there is the divine, of course, there is some kind of a path that is hard to you know, it's hard to avoid, I guess, and there are predestined things in our life, but definitely not what tarot tells you. Trust me on that. The fourth misconception I would like to talk about is that tarot is used only for divination purposes. That's not true. Tarot is actually best used as advice, guys. Let me just tell you that. All these general readings that you watch on YouTube, including mine, they give you an idea what can happen in the future. However, you are the one that manifests your reality. If they are warning you about certain things, just keep that in mind and try to change the situation for the better. Or if you know that something somewhat negative might happen, Do everything in your power to either not pay attention to it, avoid it, or just change the situation somehow. For example, if you know that in a reading, it shows you that, I don't know, you're going to get in an argument with your mom or some family member, you know, just be nice to them. Just simply be nice to them, and no argument is going to happen, guys. It's easy as that. Now, tarot is also used at therapist offices. Yes, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists. My therapist, yes, I have one. He uses tarot cards, okay? And he's not giving me like a future spread. He uses them to analyze your psychological portrait, I guess, an analysis of your psychological state, of your psychiatrical state, okay? Believe it or not, but tarot cards are used for that as well. Tarot cards can also, instead of predicting the future, the outcome, or anything, they can advise you how to go about the situation. They can point at your weaknesses. They can point at those weak points that you need to change in order to manifest love, in order to manifest prosperity, whatever you want to manifest, okay? So that's it. It's not just used for divination. If anything, this is the last thing it should be used for. It's great for advice. It's great for a psychological portrait. It's great for times where you need to pinpoint those weaknesses, those bad, you know, maybe some kind of a negative behavior in yourself or in others, just to see the situation more clearly. So that's all I have to say about that. And now the last misconception, which I'm sure there are more, but I just gotta pinpoint 5 in this video, otherwise we're gonna be here for 40 hours. It's that it's against religion. Okay, yeah, I know that it could be against Christianity. However, I know so many people of different religions, thanks to this job, that I got to get to know so many people from different countries and different cultures. And different religions, by the way. It does not depend on your religion. It doesn't matter what religion you are, whether you're Buddhist or Christian or Catholic or Muslim or any other religion. It does not matter, because cards are for everyone. And no, like I said, no evil energy is going to just appear out of nowhere and throw you off your track and ruin your life and throw bad karma at you. It doesn't happen. Like I said, cards are great for psychological portraits. They're great for advice. They're great for hints, and they're just help. They are tools to help yourself out. So it doesn't matter what religion you are. You're not doing anything bad. You're not abandoning your God. You're not abandoning your religion, okay? So I'm done with misconceptions, and now I would like to give you a couple tips for those that are just starting out, because, you know, I do get a lot of questions about that, and I thought about doing like a live chat on that. Maybe I will, but I felt like, you know, just making a video, because I don't know, I think it's easier. So, okay, cleansing your cards is very important. You cleanse them, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this word right, you cleanse them with whatever you have, whatever you think purifies them, right? So this could be sage, white sage, this could be frankincense, this could be dragon's blood, this could be myrrh, this could be so many things, but you need to kind of intuitively sense that, okay, this is going to purify, this is going to cleanse the deck of all the energies. And if you read a lot, whether you read for clients or for yourself, please cleanse it very often, because it tends to pick up other people's energies, your own energies, your emotions. So please do it as often as you can. Now, when I'm not using decks, which is actually very rare, but when they are on my bookshelf, I put crystals on them, because crystals also purify the energy. And that's actually a very good tip, because you're going to notice the more often you cleanse your cards, the more accurate the spreads are going to be. Now, another tip I want to give you, I guess, tip and kind of like a misconception, that you can't leave tarot cards on the table or wherever you read them. For example, if you get like a phone call or a knock on the door, you have to like be present. You're not casting circles for tarot spreads. You're just sitting down to read cards. Yes, you can leave. Yes, you can answer the door. Yes, you can answer the phone. And yes, you can come back to the spread and keep analyzing it, keep reading it. It's totally okay. Now, there's this thing with some people. Some people like to wash hands before and after readings. Sometimes I do that. You know, I feel like it kind of cleanses the energy of other person, you know, from my hands, from the cards, I guess, but it's not a necessity. As long as you just cleanse them with sage, for example, and crystals once in a while, the more often you read, the more often you do it, then it should do just enough. Okay, and the last tip I'm going to give you before my camera dies, because it keeps overheating: do not read on the same situation every single day, because I know how it's very tempting, you know. You do one spread, you're not satisfied with an answer. You know, does he love me? It says, you know, maybe death, and it says, I don't know, Eight of Swords. You know, you're like, oh no, I'm not satisfied with an answer. So you come back, you know, like 2 hours later, like, so does he love me? You know, and you do it again and again and again, and then finally you get the answer that you wanted, you know, and you're happy about it. But what about those 3 spreads that you just did like hours ago? Those didn't matter to you? You just wanted to get this answer? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't abuse your cards. You get an answer one day, wait at least like a week or a few days, depending on if the situation changes or not, and then read again. Don't abuse the same question, because it's only going to get you confused. It's only going to make you dislike what you do. You're just not going to have fun with cards anymore if you abuse the same question every single day or a few times a day. And another thing I wanted to say before I end this video: when you study, now, where should you study, how you should study meanings of cards. Now, I used to pick up information from everywhere. You know, if that's the way to go for you, do it. However, start with books. Definitely start with books. Get a journal and start writing down each meaning of the card. You do need to know basic meanings. You do need to know that, for example, I don't know, Seven of Swords is stabbing someone in the back or being betrayed, right? You do need to know that Ace of Pentacles is a prosperity coming, a new financial beginning, you know, some kind of a new step. You do need to know those meanings. Okay, however, with time, with experience, you're going to be able to let your intuition talk for you. You're going to be able to come up with different meanings that are similar, possibly, to the basic meaning that you've read in the book, that you've seen in the video, that you know, read, I don't know, on the website. However, eventually, with time, you're going to be able to come up with your own readings, and you're going to distance from those general meanings more and more and more. The reason they're there is because these are the meanings. However, you cannot just interpret them all the same every single time. You have to let yourself think. You have to let your intuition flow, right? And you also have to be logical sometimes as well. Of course, I would definitely highly suggest not to come up with your own meanings if you are a beginner. Learn all the basic meanings first, and then go from there. Build up, take your time, read for your friends, read for your family members. It's hard to read for yourself, however, you could still try, and then compare it to a result. You know, see what happens, see how it plays out, so that's when you'll know, okay, so moon means this and this in the book, but in my life it played out in this and this and this way. You see what I mean? It's all about experience, and it's all about practice. Good luck learning tarot, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.